It was a spectacular day out in the winelands with the 17th edition of the SA Terroir Wine Awards. A day with lots of rain, the wind was blowing, and the emotions went sky high with the results of 32 national winners and 5 trophy winners here at Vergenoegd Estate outside Somerset West. En die topwyn vir 2022 by SA Terroir is 'n magnifieke wyn. Baie geluk aan Flagstone Winery se 333 Sauvignon Blanc Semillon 2019. Gerard, wel gedaan. Jy is 'n koning van blends.
Thank you very much. It's for us Sauvignon Blanc Semillon from Elim. Elim is a quite unique wine growing area, not being known for growing grapes for quite a while, and it's been producing top quality wines since they started planting grapes there. And for us, it's the climate that you get there. It's very marginal climate to grow vineyards in, but then you've got that influence from the ocean, you've got the influence from the soils. It's very mineral rich soils, and you get that minerality coming through on the wine. And it's a wine that's close to my heart, that I love producing. So it's a 70% Sauvignon Blanc and 30% Semillon, and then 30% of the Sauvignon Blanc was fermented in barrel, and then both of the components was kept on its lees, on a fine lees for 6 months before it was then blended and bottled.
You also won the certificate for the national certificate for the best Sauvignon Blanc, and I know Sauvignon Blanc is close to your heart.
Yes.
What makes that wine special?
Yeah, for me, I work with Sauvignon Blancs. We start down in the south coast, from Elim through to Walker Bay, to Elgin, to Stellenbosch, and then we end in Darling. And the Darling fruit is it's spectacular. It's when you're standing in those vineyards and you look over onto the Atlantic Ocean. It's 300 meters above sea level, and you get that cold sea breeze. It's almost like a big air conditioner that's every afternoon it's put on, and it just cools down the area. So that wine is so concentrated, it's actually quite unique for us to win now both these wines. The one is from the south coast and the other one is from the west coast. And for us, it's just an acknowledgement of the quality that we produce at Flagstone.
The most outstanding wine terrain at this year's SA Terroir Wine Awards was Tulbagh, a small district not divided into wards. En baie geluk aan Tulbagh. En sal jy die trofee kom haal asseblief, Dewald? Tulbagh's achievement is marked by an excellent performance by Saronsberg cellars and cellarmaster Dewald Haynes, with 4 national winners for Grenache, Mourvedre, Shiraz and Viognier. Is Saronsberg in Tulbagh, topproducent, Dewald, kom haal die tweede trofee vir jou. Wel verdiend.
I think it's fantastic recognition for all the effort that a lot of people put into these wines, making them, nurturing them, and eventually selling them. So for us it means a lot. It's nice to get the recognition, and obviously it's nice to share these wines with people. We make 17 different cultivars. A lot of them will end up in blends, and funny enough today the wines that came through, a lot of blending components specifically for one of our flagship wines. And it's nice to show these smaller or lesser known cultivars that people can experience them, and that's why we've made them. So it's small bottlings of very unique wines, unique cultivars. It's Viognier, Grenache, Mourvedre and obviously Shiraz. If you make a wine that just suits that area in style, you will have success. And it's all about consistency at the end of the day. It's a unique area in the sense that we are almost surrounded by mountains, nice cold winters, warm summers, soils, massive diversity. And from our perspective, we've planted wines or vines on all the different soils, so it gives us a lot of blending components to work with. And I think at the end of the day, you can build wines with beautiful complexity, layered fruit profiles, different structure, texture components, and hopefully it shows in the wine.
A single vineyard wine is the epitome of a specific wine terrain, and 53 such wines were entered for this year's competition, with 5 single vineyards named as national winners. En die top trofee vir verjaar se enkel wingerdwyn word toegeken aan Benguela Cove Wine Estate. Johan Fourie en sy Catalina Semillon 2019. Baie geluk Johan. Dis 'n magnifieke wyn.
Die Catalina Semillon is 'n enkelwingerd wyn van die landgoed, soos al die ander Benguela Cove wyne is ons uitsluitlik landgoed wyne wat ons produseer. Is op skaliegronde, is omtrent rofweg 20 meter bo seevlak, so altitude is definitief nie iets wat ons osself toeëien nie. Dis reg onder by die see teen die Atlantiese Oseaan, is 'n suidelike helling, is kloon GD1 wat maar die mees algemeenste een is. Sover wyn maak aanbetref is daar nie vreeslik baie wat ek julle kan vertel nie. Ek dink die sukses agter die wyn is maar is 'n kombinasie van helling, grond, kultivar en klimaat. Dis maar wat die wyn maak. Dis nie so seer wat in die kelder gebeur nie. So ja, ek was betrokke by die wyn maak, maar ek dink die eintlike eer moet gaan aan die wat die visie gehad het, my voorganger, om die Semillon daar te plant. Dankie.
The top wine estate for SA Terroir 2022 goes to Riet Valley Wine Estate in Robertson. Dankie Christy. Eldert Burger. Dis die tweede jaar in 'n ry wat hulle dit wen. Baie geluk aan Eldert en sy span en aan Kobus hulle terug by die kelder. Wat 'n wonderlike geleentheid en baie geluk. Riet Valley, baie geluk. Wel gedaan. The judging panel comprised of 5 members with Jeff Greer as chairperson.
So regarding the wines, we felt that in general, the whites were a little bit more impressive than the reds, which is not always the case in South Africa. And we, as a panel, were very aware of the fact that, you always have new trends, there's changing market demand, and we know that there are people out there looking for lighter, fresher styles, although there are people that still stick to the high octane stuff. There are also people out there who looking for a little savory element in the wines rather than just pure fruit. So, wines that offer those slightly different flavor elements we try to reward. There's also a requirement for subtle oaking, in other words, not excessive oaking, and obviously there's always a demand for wines with riper tannins and softer tannins. So in terms of the categories that excelled, we felt that both the Chenin and Chardonnay wooded categories were excellent. The unoaked Sauvignons showed very well, and the oaked white blends showed well. Remember that when we're talking about blends in South Africa, it's either a Sauvignon-based blend, normally with Semillon, or it's a Mediterranean-style blend, often with a bit of Chenin in it. And, you have to kind of decide which are the best wines without showing bias towards one or two of those styles. So on the red side, we thought the Cabernet was typically good, and the Shiraz was very good. We know that Shiraz can be made in different styles. You get the sort of, the Northern Rhone style, and then you also get the more New World style. And we try to reward both styles. And then, of course, the old vine heritage wines are always really exciting to taste. I think these certified heritage blocks give great intensity of flavor, and the guys working with those blocks are seriously trying to produce really good quality wines. We were satisfied with the selection of wines we came up. Hopefully you were, and hopefully you enjoy the wines with lunch. And congratulations to the winners. Thank you.
3 financial partners joined the SA Terroir Wine Awards this year. 2 are established organizations in the wine industry, and the other a new media partner.
Ek dink die belangrike ding vir ons is as jy 'n platform het wat jy met mense kan gesels, is een van die goed wat jy kan doen is as jy kan 'n verskil maak. En daar's sekere industrieë in Suid-Afrika waar ons definitief probeer om 'n verskil te maak. Toerisme is verseker een, ons is passievol oor Afrikaans en dan wyn. Dit vra baie min om 'n bietjie te gesels oor die wonderlike werk wat die mense doen en wat julle doen. En dis hoekom dit vir ons belangrik is om vandag hier te wees en 'n bydrae te kan maak.
Wine labels has been our passion since the inception of the business. So SA Terroir is quite close to us. It's a new venture, it's a new partnership for us. And it's more about the sustainability of the industry, the wine industry, which is quite close to the Western Cape, and it creates employment for our people as well as employment in the wine industry. And to promote good quality wines is quite close to our hearts.
Winfield United South Africa is a agricultural company. We actually came to South Africa 2021 in March. And what happened is there was a merger between Villa Crop Protection and Intellichem that took place. And now we are well positioned within South African agriculture to play a role throughout the whole value chain. And we are now positioned to really play a part and help ensure the future of agriculture in South Africa. And that's why it's so important for us to be involved with this terroir competition and the industry to support us through different projects that we're involved with.
The awards lunch was held at Clara's Barn and Restaurant at Vergenoegd Low Wine Estate near Somerset West, with chefs Bertus Besson and Trikus Brink displaying their culinary skills.
So the meal today is very, very simple. It's a savoury cheesecake that's done with local pioneering mushrooms that we harvest from the Stellenbosch area. The main course is sirloin done over open coals, like you should, and every South African restaurant must have an open braai. That's the way it is. Those are the rules. And we do it with a bit of beef fat carrot puree, and a little braised beef rib croquette, and dessert has to be Cape brandy pudding.
As iemand vir jou vra wat beteken die terroir kompetisie, dan is dit nogal goed om te sien van die verskeie kellers wat elke jaar terugkom. En hierdie is een van die min kompetisies waar slegs een enkele wyn beloon word en gekroon word as die beste voorbeeld van 'n spesifieke styl. So dit is vir my dan ook opvallend in die 17 jaar hoe verskeie kellers, en ek sal hoop Ny is een van hulle, terugkeer en met 'n sekere styl elke keer op die verhoog kom. En dit wys net vir ons almal dan basies hoe terroir, wat 'n belangrike rol terroir speel in wyn maak.
The winemakers of the 32 national certificate winners were giving exceptional insights about their wines and shared some special moments with the guests.
Danny Shackleton. On the 8th of August 1963, the Shackleton took off on Oosterplaat, the Shackleton MR3 1718. It chose the route inlands because of a storm that was brewing on the coastline, and it was on its way to Port Elizabeth. There were two pilots, experienced pilot and a younger one, and two of the South African Army Air Force crew members. 20 minutes after takeoff was the last transmission to the radio tower to Oosterplaat. Nobody knows if it was human error. Nobody knew if it was one of the Havakwa peaks that hit one of the wings, or if it was engine failures. But the plane went down in the Steenkloof Mountains. This wine is dedicated to the 13 souls that lost their lives on that tragic day.
Dit kom van 'n enkele blok van Philadelphia wat quite exciting is. So wine of origin is Cape Town, en met Cape Town wat nou soos 'n internasionale tourist destination is dit nou actually great dat ons actually Cape Town ook op die label kan sit. So ons Merlot is dan van Philadelphia. Met die koeler klimaat in Philadelphia is dit actually lekker, veral nou met Eskom ook. Hy het so 'n natuurlike aircon wat so deurkom, so jy het glad nie die krag nodig van Eskom om dit wingerde koel te hou nie, maar ook om die met die difference in die dag en die nagtemperature, die significant difference tussen dit, is dit ook 'n slower ripening cycle wat in die wingerd gebeur. Merlot is baie temperamental, so jy weet nooit wat jy gaan kry nie. So is actually great om hier vandag te staan om ons Merlot saam met julle te deel.
Ek koop 'n bietjie druiwe in van weer plekke, want ek glo nie dat alles net in Franschhoek moet reg wees nie. So ons noem dit Terroir by truck. So ons as jou checkboek reg is, dan kan jy gaan shop en Vergenoegd is 'n verskriklike spesiale plek vir my. Ek kan die wingerd besoek met my mountainbike doen en as die lorry daar van bo af kom, dan kan hy free tot by my keller. So dis sommer carbon neutral ook. Maar Boda blends was nog altyd vir my 'n verskriklike spesiale ding. Dis iets wat verskriklik na my hart is. So dis 'n Cabernet Franc gedrewe ding. Alles kom van 2 plase af in die Vergenoegd Vallei. Ek gaan nie vir mense sê waar nie, want dan gaan hulle dit steel. So ek hoop julle geniet die wyn en dan laastens aan Jeff Fa. Dankie vir jou paneel dat julle daai raak gesien het. Okay? Ja, as ons weer golf speel dan kan jy wen, okay?
So Vrede en Lust het 'n plaas op Elgin. Ons het so 100 hektaar aan daai kant wat ons self besit. Die belangrikste met die Riesling op Elgin is maar ons breek verskriklik baie blare, ons sny trosse af net om seker te maak daar's genoeg sonlig en dat die blaar en tros ratio absoluut perfek is. Die Riesling is geplant op die koelste deel van die plaas met genoeg water. Dit veroorsaak of dit laat toe dat die druiwe baie lank en rustig ryp word met gekonsentreerde vrug.
Om vir julle 'n bietjie meer van die wyn te vertel, ek dink baie van julle weet op die bergreeks vir ons is baie spesiaal. Pinot Noir was een van die eerste kultivare of een van die eerste op die bergreeks gewees. En om vir julle 'n bietjie van die wingerd te vertel, is 960 meter bo seespieël, dis in Ceres. Die tyd van die jaar, daar gaan almal see toe, daar gaan almal Ceres toe om die sneeu te gaan kyk daarso. En daar is 'n kontinentale klimaat en baie keer sê ek vir mense, wanneer jy die Pinot Noir drink en wanneer jy dit ruik, dan moet dit vir jou 'n sense of place gee. Kontinentale klimaat is baie bekend vir daai natuurlike suur, lae pH, mooi kleur, maar ook hy wonderlike gekonsentreerde vrug wat jy op Pinot Noir kry.
Die blok is tussen Lamberts Bay en Klein Willem, so 35 km soos die kraai vlieg van die see af. 500 meter bo seespieël. Die reënval is 300 mm per jaar. Vir die oes is 2021 het ons so 331 gehad. En dit is Bosstok, Droeland, baie oud. Dit is 1969 aangeplant. Ons kry so 2 tonne hektaar en ons dan kry ons na al die prosesse as hy bottel toe gaan omtrent net so 220 liter 'n ton. So ja, dis dit. Baie dankie.
Aan al die wynmakers wat vandag hier is en julle kollegas terug by die kelders, julle wingerdboukundiges, julle keldermanne, julle wingerdwerkers, dra asseblief ons groot dankie oor aan julle hele span. Welgedaan. So baie dankie vir die middag. Geniet alles, veilig ry and we see you next year.